Dr. Bass, do you possibly have any colitis case stories?
There's a nice story that comes to my mind. I remember an attorney, I don't know if he's living now, in the Natural Hygiene Society, and he considered himself an expert. He considered himself knowing more than most doctors. Well, his wife had developed cancer, and then she passed away, and then he himself developed colitis. And one day he came to me and asked me if he thought I could help him. So I said, well, let's give it a go and see what happens. And he came to my office and I asked him, describe your symptoms, tell me what's happening. He says, well, when I move my bowels, blood comes out. I asked him, how long has this been going on? He says, for years. And so I said, okay, then what are you eating now? And I'd ask him and he'd tell me, and then I'd make changes. So I start him off with a diet, a simple diet, low in roughage. I gave him some blended vegetables. I says, stay on this for a week, and then come back and and we'll go from there. And he calls me up on the 6th day, says, Dr. Bass, yeah? I said, yeah. What's happening? He said, the blood bleeding stopped. I said, oh, good. You get some healing now. So I says, stay on it a little longer. We kept him on it. And then we changed the diet. The blood never came back. Cured. In a short while, he was a man of about 60 years old at that time.
Was this unusual for you?
Well, he was one of my first colitis cases because that happened when I was in my 30s. So it was unusual for me at that time, but I knew enough about it to figure it out. See, lots of times I get cases with the fancy names for diseases, and I look at it, I analyze the type of tissue, the location. Then I study what is he doing, what is he eating that could be irritating this tissue or causing it, and then I analyze that, and then when I find out that the food is of not good quality, I bring the good quality, take out the bad. And I do that with every patient, and then improvements start. Because usually people have parts of the body in states of acute inflammation and pain and suffering, and when they use drugs they may dull the tissues so the pain goes away, and then when the drugs stop the pain comes back, and more severely, many times it prolonged. And this way we do with the food the same thing, only we don't give them poisons that could backfire later or aggravate the situation like many drugs do. And we work with natural foods of good quality, and knowing the good quality of foods, we keep improving, always improving the quality of the foods, making sure they eat the right amount, the right variety, making sure they get all the things the body needs, the fats, the proteins, minerals, vitamins, micronutrients, enzymes, and so forth. And we know what the body needs. And what is nutrition? It's the practice of healing through nature by using the elements of nature. And if you use natural foods, you use the foods that give them what they need.
Do you have more case stories?
Oh, a few 100,000.
What about Elvis? He died from a colon disease. What did he do wrong?
Elvis was not my patient. I don't know what he did wrong or what the name of the disease was. Did he have a tumor? Did he have a colitis? Did he have an infection? So I would have to know more material. I have to know the problem. But Talking about problems, I have an interesting story to tell you. Lots of times I get a patient coming in, a young fellow or a middle-aged person or an old person. They have a condition, they've been going to doctors for 5, 10 years, and it's getting worse and worse. And nobody knows what to do, and that doctors are testing all kinds of drugs. One after another, the patient's getting worse because they haven't found the drug they're looking for. And finally they come to me in the hope that maybe they can find some information. So they have a problem. They don't have a name for it because the doctors don't know what the problem is or what the cause is, so they don't know what to name it. And since they name most diseases after the location of the organ, and it could be a generalized disease affecting a whole area, so they don't know how to name it. So they come to me and they ask me, so the way I would handle it would, first of all, what do animals do when they have a problem? They don't have doctors, yet they survive nature. And if animals are surviving for hundreds, thousands, and millions of years, they must know something. They're doing something right. So let's find out what animals do, how they relate to their problems, and what do they have. Animals don't have hospitals, they don't have doctors, they don't have drugstores. All they have is food, water, rest, sleep, and the qualities of their environment. And that's it. If they can't find the cure that way, they're finished. But the animals are not dying, they're surviving, so evidently there is a cure. So what is the name for it? Nature. This is their environment. So I have to work somewhat along those lines. So if I get a case of a we don't know the condition, to tell you the truth, I don't even have to know what the cause is. I know what the body needs. I know what the body requires to be healthy and happy. So I start moving them in that direction. I bring them closer to nature. I take away the things that are not natural. I give them things that are more normal, more natural. They begin to feel better. We still don't have names, and they're improving. Then I give them better food. I take away the junk food. They're getting better. And what's the name? Do we need names? They're getting better. What do we care about names? Names come from the Latin anyway, and most of the names are used to confuse rather than to provide wisdom. So they're improving, and I don't have any names, but yet maybe in the 3-4 weeks, the condition is gone. It's cured. So the man comes in with a condition he had for 10 years. Nobody knew what to call it. I didn't know what to call it. I didn't even know the cause myself. But I knew a modus operandi, which was smarter than any human brain. Nature. Nature has all the mysteries come from nature. And if you go to nature, you get the best doctor in the world. The doctor that existed from the beginning of time. You have the doctor that was authorized by God to run the universe. Can you get something better than that? And it doesn't even cost you anything. It's wonderful. You don't have to have money to be healthy or happy or even smart, because all you have to do is learn how to attune yourself to nature. And if you can do that, you got it all free. Is anything better than that? So why worry? If you worry, it just shows that you're on the wrong track. So you have to do something that's natural and that has tested through time, and that has always worked. And that answer is nature. Nature always knows. On my seal of the life science, only nature cures.
And what is the life science?
The life science is a institution and connected with chartered as a church. I would call it a health church teaching the principles, the highest principles as promulgated by God and humans through the biblical and the writings of religions. And we're working with religions because we have we're using the wisdom of time as found in the Bible, the Holy Scriptures. And if you search the right way, you can get answers. And you can find out what the Creator intended for humans.